So I'm looking at the daily chart on SPY, and I noticed that there is a pattern that has been repeating itself for 5 days straight now. If the pattern continues to repeat itself, day 6 is going to be tomorrow. I'm going to be walking you through this pattern, how you can capture it and confirm if this history is going to repeat itself. Now, if it doesn't, then the trend and the pattern is simply going to break. That's why you need to be patient and you need to wait for some sort of confirmation of this history and this pattern that's going to continue to repeat itself. But it's been happening for 5 days straight now. So as you can see right here, there's a red bearish candlestick facing to the downside. There's a red bearish candlestick facing to the downside. Then there's a red bearish pin to the upside. Then there's a red bearish pin to the upside. Then you have 3 slanted green bullish candlesticks to the upside. Then you have 3 slanted green bullish candlesticks to the upside. So as you can see, there's a pattern on the daily chart that has been repeating in very similar cycles. If history does continue to repeat itself, it's going to repeat in similar cycles, not to an exact T. So the first step is you're going to want to measure the move. So as you can see right here, the SPY ended up closing at 548.49. The next day, it had a spike to 550.12. So it spiked about $1.50 above the previous day highs. That's how you measure the range in the move for a potential entry on the bull trap if this history is going to repeat itself in a similar cycle. So if the pattern continues to repeat itself, this is what you're going to want to do. SPY ended up closing at 554.64. You're going to want to add on $1.50. So we're going to call it 556. So this is what I want you to keep in mind. Keep in mind this range. 555.50 to 556.50, a 2-point range. And then the middle of that is going to be where if history does repeat itself to an exact T, that's the potential top. So I want you to think of this. There's going to be a range, and it's going to be a 2-point range. So the range is going to be $1 to $2 above the previous closing price. If that does happen, then from there, what are you going to look for? You're going to look for trend reversal or bearish 30-minute confirmations. You're going to be looking at the 30-minute chart. You're going to wait for these 30-minute candlesticks to close in between that 1 to 2-point range. If you want to be exact with history, 1.5. You're going to want to look for trend reversal or red bearish 30-minute confirmations. If you see that 30-minute confirmation, then you are going to want to take put options when that when the next 30-minute candlestick starts to open up. You're going to want to buy put options. Now, if history does repeat itself in a similar cycle, you're going to see that bull trap level is going to be 1.2 points above the previous closing price. That's where the bulls can potentially get trapped. So if it happens, if it spikes, you're going to use the confirmations. Whatever it is that you use, along with what I taught you throughout these 500 fucking videos, to confirm that a trend is going to reverse, to confirm that a bull trap is going to happen, to confirm that it's going to flip bearish, right, as it's spiking. So that's what you're going to want to do. Now, as you can see, if we measure the move to the downside, it can drop 5 points. This went from 550 to 545. Again, this is called measuring moves. It's not going to happen to an exact T. We're going to look for zones. We're going to use confirmations. And if we get the confirmations, it's going to happen in similar cycles. We're measuring to get a zone of what can potentially happen with the price action. And then we're using confirmations to confirm that this fucking history and pattern is going to continue to repeat itself. So, 5-point drop. It experienced a 5-point drop. So 5-point drop, let's say the high is 556. So where can the potential bottom be? These are going to be your bottom zones. If we have a spike, 1.5, 2 points, these are going to be your bottom levels if you want to day trade and buy the dip. Keep an eye on 552, but your true best level are the ones that really weren't tested. These are your true best overall levels, man. You got a lot of support right here towards this 551. And then an amazing level is going to be 554 to 548. Very unlikely that we drop that low heading in tomorrow. But in terms of a potential buy zone for a day trade, possibly like way later into the day for power hour for a close in the middle, keep an eye on 548.30. Keep an eye on 550.50. And keep an eye on this 551.50 to 552 zone. Keep an eye on those levels because if this history does repeat itself, there's going to be a bear trap potentially later into the day for a very lucrative day trade on call options. So keep an eye on those levels and on that zone for a bear trap. And then, well, how big can the bear trap be? You can see the low was at 545 and it closed at 547. So it could be a quick 2-point bear trap, right? So again, I'm showing you how to measure moves if history repeats itself. I'm showing you the zones to look for, and then you have to use confirmations. So if what it is that I'm saying is happening, capture it in real time with the confirmations that you use to determine where the bulls and bears are going to get fucking trapped. With that being said, this is another thing that I want to bring awareness to. If the bulls do get trapped on a spike, and it doesn't have to be a spike, it doesn't have to be a 1.5 to 2-point spike. Another thing you need to be aware of in terms of buying put options heading into tomorrow is the previous closing price. If it's having a small move up, or if it's sitting around the previous closing price, again, the true best entry would be 1.5 to 2 points. But if we're having a spike up, you know where to get in. I already explained to you. But if we're just sitting at the previous closing price, or if we spike up and then it starts to drop back down to this previous closing price, if you are seeing bearish 30-minute confirmations a little bit later into the day, maybe not necessarily at market open if it hasn't spiked because you are looking for a small spike. But the point is, if you're seeing red bearish 30-minute confirmations at the previous closing price, 554.64, this is a great confirmation to start getting in or to add to put options for this nice morning potential bull trap, right? So keep an eye on the previous closing price to add. Now, this is another idea that I want to bring awareness to. Swing trading. If you are taking day trades and you have some interest in swing trading, this is what you can do. So in terms of swing trading, if we are getting those confirmations at the spike zone or at the previous closing price, you can have some size for a potential swing trade. If the SPY has a red bearish daily candlestick closing on Monday, you're going to want to swing trade puts because the next day it had a massive gap down and the day after that it went lower. So the point is, if you're looking at the chart, the best potential entry could be towards the spike or towards the previous closing price. Now, in terms of an actual confirmation of swing trade, that's not until the market closes. So in this situation, you have to think. If you want the best entry to day trade, you already know what to do. If you want the best entry on the swing trade, you know what to do. It's towards the previous closing price. It's towards a 1.5 point spike. But you have to keep in mind that there is no fucking confirmation to actually hold that swing in terms of my strategy until the daily candlestick closes, which is going to be a couple minutes before close, like at 3:55 p.m., like right before it closes, right? So in this case scenario, you can take some starters to swing if you're getting the day trading confirmation and leave runners. And then if you're getting a confirmation to swing, you can hold your starting position, or you can even add to your swing if you're getting the confirmation that into the close is closing bearish, or you can just completely fucking wait to swing trade right before the market closes. So again, these are things that you have to think about. If you get in early, you can potentially get the best entry on your swing trade, but you're entering a potential swing trade that's not a confirmation, so it could be a day trade. But again, you could just take a starter on your swing trade, and that starter, the purpose of that is just to get the best entry. And then if it closes strong, you exit. If it closes red and bearish, you hold it, and you can even add to it. Or in terms of your swing trade, you can just completely fucking wait and not get the 100% best entry, right before the market fucking closes. The advantage to that is you're going to get a higher win rate, but you're not going to get 100% the best entry. But you not getting that best entry, it could resort into a specific loss. So that's the plan in terms of day trading and swing trading. I wanted to walk you through this in terms of just giving you some insight on how, in a sense, my mind sees this, how my third eye sees this, man. You guys are wondering, how'd you create all those bull and bear trap videos? This is one of the ways on how I did it. It's just like I said, my standards are so fucking high these days where it's man, I'm literally waiting for trends to just really fucking develop. Like I said, if there's a trend, if there's a pattern that has been working for a very long time, odds are it's just going to continue to fucking work, man, until there's a break of trend, a break of pattern. So you're just studying the patterns and the trend of what to look for the next fucking day or the next 30-minute candle, whatever time frames you're using. And then you're looking for some sort of confirmation. Is there a confirmation that, oh, wait a second, there's a breakup pattern? If there's a breakup pattern, I'm going to be patient and sit on my fucking hands until a new one develops, right? This pattern's been working for fucking 5 days fucking straight. We've been capturing this in real fucking time, day trading non-fucking stop with a 90% fucking win rate inside of Team fucking Roar. So that's one of the strategies on what it is that we're doing. This is how I'm able to literally get in at the exact best bull and bear trap levels, because I'm capturing patterns and trends in real time. I know exactly what to look for in terms of tomorrow. So if that happens, then that means that history is repeating itself. So if history is repeating itself and that pattern is beginning to work, the next step is, okay, what's the confirmation? What is the confirmation to fucking enter? And then what am I looking for the exit? Measuring the move is going to help entering. Measuring the move is going to help fucking exiting. The confirmations are going to get you in. So look, man, I'm just giving you a kind of insight on how, even in a sense, if you go back to my old videos with all the key levels and the bull trap, the bear trap levels, this is one of the strategies and methods that I've used to literally create those fucking plans, man. You understand? It's just like I said, these days I'm waiting for patterns and trends to be more developed. Do you understand? This is day fucking 5. I'm not trying to be the first one on day fucking 2 to capture. No, I'm trying to really wait for something to really fucking develop. And then once it's really developed, I'm like, dude, this has been working for fucking 4 days, 5 days, 6 days, 7. Let's just keep on milking this fucking trend non-fucking stop. It's so easy to fucking milk a trend once it's fucking developed. You know exactly what to look for, man. I'm putting my odds where all the confidence is, man. If something's repeating itself for fucking 1 week, 2 weeks, I'm going to keep on putting my fucking odds in my fucking favor. But it's not just that saying history's going to fucking repeat itself. I'm specifically waiting for the exact fucking history in a similar cycle, measuring the moves and then confirming it. You know, if it spikes 1.5, 2 fucking points, in my mind, I'm going, dude, history's still fucking repeating itself. So what's the confirmation? Use the 30-minute fucking chart. Use whatever it is that you use to confirm bull trap, bear fucking trap. So this is how, in a sense, I'm able to develop these plans. This is how, in a sense, I'm able to be so fucking accurate where people are like, dude, this dude's a fucking wizard. How the fuck is he doing this? I'm showing you, man. This is some of the fucking basics. It's not like it's like every day fucking bro, because now I'm really focused on waiting for something to develop longer instead of trying to be the first one to just capture a specific trend. I've learned and realized it's best to just wait a little bit longer for something to really continue to fucking develop. And then when there's a break of trend, so like I said, tomorrow's day fucking 6. This is very fucking unusual. We have a pattern lasting not fucking long. But if it fucking lasts, I know what to look for. And once I see it and it's fucking happening, then my job is to confirm that it's gonna fucking work, man. So you have to know what to look for. You have to plan fucking ahead. You have to capture these trends and patterns in real fucking time. You don't have to be the fucking first one to capture these fucking trends. And the longer the trend is fucking repeating, then the fucking better that it's gonna keep on fucking happening. And you simply just have to understand how to understand that, okay, there's a break of trend here. What do? We sit on the fucking sidelines. There's a break of fucking trend. Let's just wait. Let's wait for the bulls to get fucking trapped. Let's wait for the bears to get fucking trapped. You have to wait for people to get fucked in the market. This is very simple stuff, man. So I'm walking you through some of the fucking basics. This is literally how I was able to crush it last fucking week inside of Team Fucking Wars, non-fucking stop winning, because I was capturing this daily fucking chart trend non-fucking stop. And look, you can use longer time frames, man. You can go back. You can use the fucking, the weekly chart. You can go back. You can use the fucking weekly chart. You can use the monthly chart. The weekly chart. You can use the monthly chart. I'm not going into all of this right now. You can get very fucking advanced and in-depth with this shit. Like I said, you dissect it. You break it down. You could start with the fucking monthly chart, and then you can go to the fucking weekly chart. Me personally, though, I really do just focus in terms of like day trading in short-term swings. I could see how like the monthly chart, the weekly chart could be very more useful for like longer-term trades. But in terms of like my day trading and like a short-term swing trade analysis, I would focus on the daily chart. And then for confirmations, I'm looking at the 30-minute chart. So I explained to you the pattern. I explained to you the measured moves. In terms of visuals, man, go back and watch fucking 518 fucking videos showing you the confirmations that I'm using in real fucking time when these measured moves hit. Wait for the fucking measured moves. Wait for the bull trap, bear trap fucking reversal fucking signals, man. It's so fucking simple. So in a sense, I kind of just taught you some of the basics on how I'm able to create these plans in the first fucking place. You're not going to find this information anywhere else because I'm the one that created all of this information. You will find other people, maybe potentially in the fucking future, who try to fucking mimic this or fucking copy this. Good fucking luck out there. But with that being said, man, I'm going to wrap up this genius fucking lesson that I just created with my brilliant fucking mind. For those of you who do want to trade with us, hell, look, you trade this fucking plan tomorrow and this works out, just join fucking Team Roar. Join fucking Team Roar. If you trade this fucking plan tomorrow, you get the fucking confirmation, join Team Roar. It's going to be the first link down below in the description. We're going to absolutely fucking crush it this fucking week.